are pretty much all set up for this race with iBolt and Laura for any percent of Spyro 1. I said that in such a weird order, but I'm going to hand it off to. I'm going to hand it off over to them, and yeah, get excited for this race, guys.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm
Oh, wait.
iBolt. That's Laura.
Are we not having our webcams going? Was there no space for it?
Oh no, there's no space. The webcam's gonna be off for this, but no. How y'all doing today? What's up, Phoenix Aki? What's up, Zando? Y'all ready for this rat venture we're about to go on?
I can't believe I didn't put any makeup on for this.
Me neither. Oh wait, I don't even do that anyway. I usually look like
Right, they're gonna adjust it during the run.
I usually roll out of bed in the morning. I go, Spyro Dragon, Spyro
Okay,
Dragon.
I see.
Cams will be on, but
Cams will be on. Yeah, go for it. That's I think we set up for cams, so.
But yeah, hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Spyro 1 any percent as raced by Laura and iBolt07. And I think we should just get straight into this, yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, let's go. Insta-rat, let's go.
So, if Laura and iBolt are both ready, I will let Yoga Monio do the countdown.
Yoga Monio.
Drum roll,
Both
please,
ready
chat.
then?
We're ready.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I am running Untitled Blitz, but they're going to be in the background. I'm not even going to pay attention. I'm just going to watch Laura, make sure I kick some butt.
I am running.
Okay, I think we need a sync up. between
Yeah, there's a
the
bit of a
voices as
delay
well.
here.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a delay, but that's fine. It seems to be only like 5 or 6 seconds, but that's totally cool.
That's pretty big.
Watch it come down to the wire.
It'll be synced up when we do like the transition to the webcams.
Maybe I'm just spoiled. Anyways, so
Anyway,
Yeah, so-
hello everyone. I am still in deciding whether or not I need to take this run seriously in order to win, or I go for all of the funny strats.
I'm just going to take the run as seriously as I'm able to. And just, if usually I get pretty chatty in events like this. So anyways, the first, if Wally, because Wally's so good explaining strats, if he would like to explain how this category works.
So
And-
this category is very simple. Beat the game, no restrictions, no cheats. In order to progress throughout the game, there are balloonists with all different requirements. We start off in the Artisan's world, and the balloonist requirement to head on to the Peacekeepers is 10 dragons. From Peacekeepers to Magic Crafters, we need 1200 gems. From Magic Crafters to Beastmakers, we need 5 eggs. From Beastmakers to Dreamweavers, we need 50 dragons. And from Dreamweavers to Nasty's world, we need 6,000 gems.
So it's basically 80 dragons with less steps.
Yes.
Well, this run's going great for me so far.
I
well,
always fail this in events. It's okay.
Yeah. Both competitors ending up on the
We're just getting our time on.
beach.
It's the first sequence break, so
To a degree.
But yeah, this is a race between Laura and iBolt07. I'm Miss41, and joining me with commentary help is Yoga Monio.
hello.
I like going to get some
Thank
sun
you,
rays.
Wally. Artisans, while being pretty straightforward, is a very scary home world. At least to me, it is.
frightening.
it's the big reset point, honestly. It's
I
like
don't like flowers. They scare
it's
me.
basically. Well, here's the way I run things, and I don't know if Laura. I think Laura is kind of similar to me, but I don't know how everybody else is. The way I usually see it is, if Artisans isn't going to go well, I'm going to be in a mood and then not want to continue the run. I get
Yeah.
pretty steady in Artisans, but
I feel
I've
it.
been trying more lately to get in the habit of finishing runs even with bad Artisans. I actually had a bad Artisans and still got a PB the other day, so.
Artisans is much less about the time save and much more about setting the tone for the rest of the run.
Correct.
Yeah, a big part of Artisans is really just getting it right, because it is... The thing with Spyro 1 is that it's very easy to snowball out of control.
Yeah.
If you're starting to mess up things, it can sometimes be very difficult to sort of find a good rhythm and more or less limit your losses.
It becomes a battle of you. It becomes less of a battle of you versus the game, and rather you versus yourself at one point. Believe it or not, I'm actually ahead of
very rough.
I had a really good town square. I don't know if anybody saw. I did it. I don't know if Laura got, but I got the desk strat.
I nearly got it.
Or the
we have faces.
You think you store basically the single flame you place on the fan chest while you capture Thor. Then you can just do a double flame and flame charge into that fan chest and get the 10 gem with minimal time loss.
Yeah. So as Dale explained earlier in my 8 Dragons run, the Toasty Wall Ride, there are a few places which you can stand after quite a... It's not the hardest wall glide in the game, but it's still pretty tricky to get down when you're riding.
It's one of those wall glides where you have to get it right at the very start, and as soon as you know you've confirmed it, the rest of it is quite easy.
Yeah.
So if you don't get kicked off the wall initially, then the rest of it is fine.
Yeah, there's just a little small divergence where you have to take a left, and everything else is pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Yes, my favorite dragon, height. It's usually what all my muscles do when I almost miss a strat.
And unlike skipping into Toasty, what any percent actually does there is it decides to take a roll jump and just go straight through the scenery instead of bothering to get to the highest bit of solid ground just to go into Toasty. But now we are in Peacekeepers, and gems become a lot better in this homeworld compared to Artisans, with gem counts ranging from 200 in the homeworld, with 300 in the boss, and obviously 300 in every flight. That is the case with this game. But also 400 gems in the 3 main levels.
In general, too, the gems per second starts to skyrocket here, too. Artisans has very poor gems per second.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gems per second is basically the guiding principle for this game, because
whatever, I'm gonna go for it. Why not?
the dragon route is very stable. The dragon route barely changes unless you're doing some funny stuff in Clifftown and maybe going into Terrace Village. The egg route is basically whatever you happen to get quickly. There is a set route for it, but it doesn't really change much. The gems is where everything varies. If you miss a set of gems, you need to go back for some other ones. You know, it changes a lot, and any percent requires a lot of adaptability in that regard.
Speaking of changes from the 80 Dragons run, instead of going the intended way, they did a little bit of a jump there to skip that intended way to get the dragon up at the top of the cliff, whatever his name is.
Maximus. Yes.
Maximus jump, and I don't even have it on my route anymore. I've removed it from my route entirely. That was actually just kind of a time save there for me.
We made that look very easy, but in fact, it is really difficult. You have to get a perfectly good jump off the ledge and make sure you hang your jump for long enough. Oh, hang on. Okay, we got Mama Proxy. Hold up. I'm going to be quiet for a second.
I was like a very small angle off. I did my setup right. I flamed too much into the wall.
Yeah, I'll take over a bit here. So, what Laura was trying to explain in Dry Canyon was that jump to Maximus. Yeah, you need to make sure that you have a good jump with good momentum, as well as something that is going to be done a lot called a charge glide. So if you charge into a glide, you will have a lot more speed in your glide, and it'll allow you to go further. And that jump is a very good sort of benchmark for where your sort of charge glides are. Now in Clifftown, Laura successfully and iBolt unfortunately failed was the Mama proxy. This was a squeeze proxy between the Mama and the corner. In doing that proxy, you get onto the rooftop with 2 10-gem chests, followed by another rooftop with a 2 and a 5, into a rooftop where you need to roll jump into the section across the river that iBolt is currently heading towards.
Very well explained, yes, Wally 1. You have such a way with words.
The thing with this category is adapting, and right now I'm trying to adapt my gems because I'm missing at least 35 from the Mama proxy.
So what you're going to see here is that
I run a lot there.
while iBolt is visibly behind, he is going to have more gems than me. And in the long run, that's going to help him a bit more than me.
And let's be real, Laura's got a big ego right now.
I've got a huge ego. I'm Jimmy Neutron. I cannot contain it.
It goes in, it affects your hair, and it makes it do that ice cream swirl.
Yeah, I look like Donkey Kong. Famously voiced by Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Not the cheat. Not the cheat.
So a very, very quick visit
probably
here.
Got that joke. Whoever gets that joke will probably be really happy.
So a very quick visit to Dr. Champ. 150 odd, good, very, very fast gems. We don't fight the boss purely because the boss doesn't drop enough gems, and also takes quite a while. But it's still good for the 150 odd gems and the one dragon.
Yeah, no. Someone was mentioning the other day, would it be worth it to get the lock chest? I just missed a very important strat, unfortunately, but oh well.
Oh, did you not get the cliff jump?
I did not. I didn't angle it right.
So again,
You're probably got me on that, Laura.
I did get cliff jump. In fact, I'm 3 for 3.
I'm 1 for 3.
So
however,
a lot like the dry canyon jump as well. It's a good benchmark for where your mechanics are.
you're right for both of us. So
Yeah, this category can go wrong all the way until the very end of the run.
And it does have that snowball effect. I'm probably going to come out here like 40. I do have splits up. Y'all can't see them, but I'm going to be like probably 30, 40 behind my PB after this. That's how quick things can go south. Even though like I have some really good levels going, I actually managed to save time on that Maximos jump earlier. I lost like 20 on Clifftown. Just that jump alone, you're going to lose like 20, 25 seconds.
As it was mentioned during my 8 dragons run,
back up. You missed that you do Nightlight first and get the dragon over by the pond second. His name's Gunner.
I think something a lot of people who have been in the stream all day today are going to be noticing that this is very, very, very similar to Wally's 80 Dragons run.
Correct.
And that is pretty much because 80 Dragons is just 80% with extra steps.
And you skip almost the entirety of Dreamweavers.
Which is
Sorry,
good,
Dreamweavers.
because no one likes Dreamweavers.
Hey, Dreamweavers has some of the best levels.
You have some of the best levels.
I don't know what that means, but thank you.
But ladies and gentlemen, Laura and Yoga Monia.
We go together like butter and shards of glass.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Tag yourself. I'm the shards of glass.
I'm the crust specifically.
Oh.
King Europe says, yes, Wally has the best levels. What do you think about that, Wally?
I'm scared.
You heard it here first, folks. Yes, Wally 1 is scared. For the first time in his life.
So unfortunately, Ice Cavern, whilst having 5 dragons, doesn't have very good gems. So a lot of this level is just focused on the dragons. The detours that we do make are very, very small.
Yeah, it's a long split, and you only get, I think, 200 gems, ideally.
The stage itself is just maybe a little too large.
It is, casually speaking, Ice Cavern is by far my second favorite level. I say second because Clifftown is my first.
But then there's speed running.
Oh, by the way, y'all, I'm drinking a Tennessee soda called Dr. Enough. It is very delicious. It's an herbal soda, just so y'all know.
Dr. Enough.
Is this
Can you get enough?
Yeah,
Dr. Enough?
I want to send some to Laura because Laura's over like in Europe land, and I want to send some to her just so she can try like something that's just not from anywhere over there.
Is this what the any % kids are drinking nowadays?
Well, I'm drinking.
I drink a lot of Dr. I've had enough.
Doctor, I've had enough. I'm just drinking a diet beverage from company we don't talk about.
Oh. Aha.
Right, so
you were trying to tell me that there's this coconut candy over there that's like, oh, magic stairs. Yay.
like I said earlier, I may be very visibly ahead, but if anyone noticed my gem count coming out of Ice Cavern, I am very behind right now. 1382 is not good. I should have about 1440. So, we're going to be spending a fair bit of magic crafters trying to recover some of those gems. Let's do our best.
That's a
Again,
big
it's all
thing
about
as well.
adapting to this category. Realizing your gem count, if your economics are looking bad, you try and fix it. I'm about 30 behind PB, but I'm running pretty okay gems. I have 1407. I mean, they're acceptable.
And then there's the runners who, when they have bad gem counts, actually just make them worse.
How do you make them worse?
Me.
How do you do that? I shouldn't have reached.
I snowball
Trying
when
too
it comes
hard,
to missing
overthinking.
gems.
Yeah.
So, if anyone noticed what just happened there, the wizard guy, he raised his platform before I could reach him. That is because I let go of charge. If you are in their range to manipulate their AI, and you either let go of charge or recharge in front of them, they will just say, screw you, old buddy, old pal, and raise their platform early, which loses you out on some gems that you sorely need.
7 gems down the drain, unfortunately.
A whole 7 gems. I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep tonight.
To be fair, 1,000 gems needed to progress to Nasty's world. You are going to have barely enough gems over 6,000.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it is very, very tight, and there's a lot of decision making that you have to do on the spot for however little or however many gems you may have at many different points of the run.
I always do exact math at Jock, like exactly how many gems I need from regular level, because Jock will always have 175 gems. So I always know exactly how many I need going into Jock.
Oops. See, now that's what a smart person does. I just wing it.
Hey, same.
Now, that sounds bad, but I have a guiding philosophy when it comes to this category, and this should apply.
We're looking like $1 million, y'all.
This should apply to everyone looking to get into Spyro 1 at any percent. The guiding philosophy I always ran by is, no matter what you do it fast. And I know that sounds, duh, right? It's a speed run. But what I mean is that you really need to not go back for things you missed or be indecisive about your movement. Even if you're doing what's considered a suboptimal route, if you do it quickly, that's going to work out better for you than doing what's technically a better route but slower. Be confident in yourself,
In a lot of ways, I'm the opposite. If I'm down gems, I don't accept it sometimes. Like, oftentimes, if I'm like way behind already and I miss a 10, I'll just literally turn around and say, nope, ain't missing that 10.
Laura did that not that long ago, so
I did do that. I did do that, but I am severely undergemmed.
That's what you have to do sometimes in these situations. It's all a matter of what you think is best in the moment.
It was a 10 gem.
And 10 gems are beautiful.
It's pretty in gold, like gold I'm going to give to my wife someday.
Ooh.
I actually saved time at Alpine.
Well done.
All right, so coming up we have, I think Wally can probably explain,
Yeah, high
the thing that we're about to do that's like, kind of, oftentimes decides the run, especially if we're low on gems.
Yeah. So, high caves supercharge in any percent, or what we call bike caves. It's a pretty tricky supercharge with quite a lot involved in it. We will be taking the supercharge up through the top section of the cave system that's in this level, past the ferry, onto the rooftop, and then back up the main cave system. There's a lot of chances for this to go wrong, and depending on where it goes wrong, you can lose yourself quite a large amount of gems, or time, or
It went
both.
wrong. So my bike caves went wrong in quite possibly the worst way.
Yeah. So
Far
she left
too
the
early.
supercharge very, very early here, so
closable time.
She is going to have to try and back this up in as best fashion as she possibly can, because these gems are genuinely good for their route.
I will just be getting them all. And being quick while I do it.
A bit of 120% in there. Just use the super flame from the fairies. Some of that hasn't really been explored all that much. Fairies in this game, if they kiss you, you get super flame. It lasts for only a short amount of time, for bar one exception in Haunted Towers, which won't be in this run. But that can break open any container and kill pretty much any enemy. Meanwhile, on iBolt's screen, he lost his supercharge a little bit later than Laura, so he didn't lose as much time in this high caves.
So, speaking of
This is a pretty good
high caves,
all in all.
those backup gems I got have brought my gem count back up to the point where I'm now only down about 30, which is very good. I'm happy with that. Can't you see how much I'm smiling?
Icon. 2,207 gems actually very good coming out of high caves, at least on this route, because I do a different route than I don't know. I think Laura, do you still go behind the tower on Clifftown?
I do not.
You and I both don't do that, and that's actually different from the traditional route, where you go on Clifftown earlier in the game. There's usually a 25 gem behind the tower, but me, Laura, and a few others have found it just not good for time to do that, because it's 39 gems, but it takes like 14 seconds to grab them. So
Shout outs to Alex Dest.
shout outs to Alex Dest.
Speaking of shout outs, anyone want to make any shout outs?
Big shout out to Wally.
I'm here.
Yeah, shout outs to Wally. No, you're not. Go home.
I know. I have shout outs to someone in chat actually. Shout outs to the real Wolfie.
If we're actually doing shout outs, shout outs to Tom Walmsley, who's hopefully watching right now. Today was his last day at his retail job, and he's now moving on to bigger and better prospects. So we can say GG Tom.
That's big. I've not even done that.
And I would also like to say shout outs to my mom who's watching. Hi mom, I love you.
Hi, Mom. My mom also might be watching.
Hello, mother.
Hi,
I hope you're having a good day.
This is too wholesome.
You're too close.
No, Wally
Why
isn't.
not?
Don't lie.
I realized what I said shortly after I said it.
Shout outs to the best dragon in the game. Actually, the worst dragon in the game. Lyle.
No one likes Lyle.
We'll see Lyle soon enough.
I totally dodged a 25 gem there.
That's not good.
No, I got it. We're good. I had to take a few seconds to get it, but we got it.
Right. Boulder skip. Get. I feel it in my controller. And I saw the flash.
So
I saw that 100%.
So the big reason for why Boulder skip works. So Boulder is
Bruno there. That's definitely Spyro there.
Allow him to explain. iBolt.
so. Boulder is literally placed right in front of Crystal Flight, and a way that a level actually starts loading is when the camera hits the portal. So if we manipulate the camera a slight bit to delay it hitting the portal, we can actually send Spyro through the portal, and his actual being in the homeworld is still there. So he can still interact with stuff like gems, dragons, even enemies, and by delaying the time that the level starts loading, Spyro goes far enough into the homeworld where he hits Boulder. And as soon as you hit a dragon pedestal, that dragon immediately counts as being freed. So when you go back in, the dragon is already freed, and we don't have to go through the animation.
Vanishing act. He's gone.
Yeah, and the big thing is you lose at least a second if you accidentally mess it up.
If you don't get Boulder skip, but you try for it, so you end up touching the back of him to free him, you lose 8 seconds because it takes Spyro longer to walk around to the front of him to start the animation, compared to if you just touched him to free him normally.
That, and also you actually get a worse cycle when it comes to
That's a very good point.
Yeah, the dude raising the platform right before Blowhard specifically.
Yeah.
I actually didn't think about that, but that is true.
So
and speaking of Blowhard, we're here now in one of the most annoying stages, in my opinion, for any percent. I don't know why. It feels like everything wants to go wrong in this stage.
It's because of the tiny slippery hitboxes. These wizard dudes have like the smallest freaking hitboxes, and you can slip off of them. And then Blowhard's hitbox only activates at certain times from certain angles.
So the thing is with the wizard hitboxes is that instead of them being small, I know they feel small because sometimes it feels like you can charge right through them. They're actually disjointed. They're off to the side of them.
Yep.
And you have to be very used to this game to know which side the hitbox is on. It's very awkward. This game seems very stable, but it's also very jank. Anyway, off to Beastmakers. I'm going to... I hate the swamp. Y'all, I hate the swamp. Let's be real. It smells, it's sticky, it's green. I hate green.
It's Florida.
It's Florida! We're going to Florida!
Now, just as Deo was saying in Wally's run earlier with 80 dragons, there is a pretty steady incline in terms of difficulty, I would say. As the run progresses, I do think it starts easy and then it just progressively gets harder and harder and harder, especially by the way end when there's multiple tricks that may or may not work in your favor.
It's
Talking
also...
about a certain rat.
Oh yeah.
This homeworld also has one of the biggest differences.
You start going for those tricks, you expect your run to not die. You expect all your runs to die. Even Twilight Harbor Skip is, in my opinion, it's more unforgiving as a trick, even though it's technically easier because it's not random. Rat is only difficult because of its unpredictability and inconsistency. The Twilight Harbor Skip is actually, in my opinion, a harder trick to pull off.
You're right to a degree.
That's a list.
Twilight Harbor Skip. Yeah, you're right. Twilight Harbor Skip is harder here, but it seems easier because it's all in your control.
Stationary.
That's why, if only this game did not have RNG, you know, Rat would be the future, but it is not.
Rat is the now, not the future.
Yes, Rat is the present, and I'm about to wrap it back up and take it back to Macy's with the receipt.
This is why I'm telling you we should work on Coveless, yeah? Yeah?
We're not working on Coveless.
We're not working on Coveless. I'm never doing that again. I spent 8 hours on that.
I like to try to sneak it in.
Laura got Coveless, yeah?
You want to tell that story, Wally? You want to tell that story? Because I'm not going to tell that story.
Oh, that time when Laura got Coveless third try.
It was second
and
try.
The only spectator to that. Well, it was me.
And I wasn't recording. And I have been trying on a near daily basis ever since just to get the trick once more, and I can't.
That means
Isn't
there's
that a
no
fun
proof that
time?
you've done it. Wally,
That means
has she done it?
I can lie and nobody would be able to dispute me.
I hate you.
No, you
Misty Bob.
Yes, I do.
What a lovely stage we have here.
What's your gem at, Laura?
My gems?
Yeah.
I had 3,800 coming out of Wildflight.
Actually, you're actually a little better than I expected you to be at this point, considering how low you were earlier.
All things considered, this isn't a bad run. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Shout outs to the double spring chest that I missed.
Shout out to the when I get it here in about a minute, because I'm like a minute behind you.
Kinda. I feel like you're about 45 seconds behind me.
Yeah, I don't think you two have gotten like any further apart from like peacekeepers.
Yeah, it's been about the same since basically hitting Mama and not hitting Mama.
And cliff jump.
That too, yes.
Shoutouts to Cliff Jump, shoutouts to Jeff Dump, shoutouts to Bubba Gump.
Okay,
Shoutouts
you've done your bit.
Hey, Bubba!
Give me my bit, Wally.
Fine, have a bit.
Oh, okay. Shoutouts to the jalapeno popper.
I did not get Laura Strat, however, I did get one of the spring chests, which, regardless, even getting one of them is better than getting none of them.
Speaking of Laura Strat, we're gonna see one in the next level, and hopefully, I'm excited.
Yes. I will try it, but I will not retry it if I don't get it.
I've never even attempted it, so I would not know what I'm doing.
This doesn't prove that it exists.
I will prove it exists.
I'm pretty sure it's in our PB, but
It's not an RPG.
oh, never mind. It doesn't exist then.
You don't exist.
You know, I'm Sparksless. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm Sparksless currently, so I'm gonna try to finish this up Sparksless.
Being Sparksless is terrible, especially when you're in Beastmakers. There's not a lot of fodder, or the fodder is in just really inconvenient locations.
Yeah.
There's no
So-
fodder at this level, by the way. The next fodder I'll be able to get before treetop.
Yeah, so if you can, obviously, if you don't have sparks, instead of being sparkless, say you get a dragon and there is a place that you can die really quickly, it is usually better to just take the death and get sparks back.
I'm going to go ahead and do that here.
Damageless Wonton, by the way.
So we are calling it Guantan. We are calling that room Guantanamo Bay on this stream, are we?
Yes.
Yes!
I'm going to take
Shout out to
it.
Guantan.
That is its name.
Oof. I'm Sparksless too.
That
Nice to meet
island
you.
sucks. Lots of enemies, small space. It sucks. It's like Guantanamo Bay. There.
You know the giant famous frogs in Guantanamo Bay? And the metal guys with the knives? I can't. There's probably metal guys with knives.
Look, it's Matt Damon.
Right, treetops. Here we go. This is one of my favorite levels. It's definitely my favorite level in Beastmakers.
My favorite
So-
casual playthrough level.
The mission objective here, you see this green thief I'm chasing? I have to beat him to the next dragon. And it does not look like I'm gonna make it. But that's okay.
Already Sparksless again. That was dumb.
It saves a little bit of time if you manage to beat him, because the thief
Alright.
will teleport onto
Here we go.
the island.
It's
Boing, I didn't get it. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm a disappointment.
Aw.
There was a little launch.
There was a little launch. That is
Small
called
launch.
Laura Launch.
It's called Little Launch.
Little Lord.
Little Laura Launch.
There's a place near where I live called Little Scotland.
Little Scotland as opposed to giant Scotland.
Yeah,
Scotland that is
I did
big,
get Fast Thief on the other hand.
but not very big.
No, it's not too big.
Look, it's Lyle. We hate Lyle.
What did Lyle ever do to you?
I had a next door neighbor named Lyle, and they double parked all the time. That's why I coined that whole Lyle, we hate Lyle thing.
You know what? That's respectable now that I have the context.
The Lyle I know annoyed me during the run.
During your run?
Lord. Let's just say he might have lost.
Oh no.
There may have been a GBA game involved.
Shoutouts to the early spring chest.
Ooh.
Also, shoutouts to Season of Flame being played as the previous game.
That's the best Spyro game ever made. Enter the Dragonfly.
Thank you.
Mm,
Alright, we're now 1 for 2 on Stone Knots.
There we go. That's good.
Let's see if I can get Stone Knot. I messed it up the other day, so I don't know. It's 50-50 for me sometimes.
I believe in you, iBolt. You can
I
do
believe
it.
in you too. I just does the game believe in me is the question.
They call that early spring chest Hum Springs, actually.
I've
Really? I
never
did
heard
not know.
that name.
Well,
Wally's like,
speaking of-
what?
Speaking of strats that Hummeldon didn't find, I'm going for an out of bounds in Metalhead. You know, the one Hummeldon did not find.
And unfortunately, iBolt barely missed Stone Knot.
I'm afraid I
Well,
missed
so
the
No, I'm
setup.
taking it back up. Doing it
I
again.
missed
Yep.
the setup for the out of bounds because my glide input did not come out.
Again.
That's okay. That's okay. Everything's okay.
You're not
I'm gonna
listening
get
to
this.
Nando
I keep
just
going
saying
till I get
that.
it.
I did not find board proxy.
I lived through both of them.
Yes, Wally
Well,
One,
if you
famous
wanna-
inventor of board proxy.
Hey, Wally, do you want to maybe take a brief moment to explain Stone Knot and how much time you lose, unfortunately, if you do miss it?
If you don't do my backup, I think you lose. I think
Are
11.
you selling a product? Buy my backup. Yes, Wally One, brand backup.
Buy my backup, $5 plus VAT and shipping.
That's a ripoff.
But,
You're a ripoff.
Yeah. So, yeah, Stone Knot is ramping up the tree to get up to the higher area. If you fail it and you do the backup that I did earlier, I think it's 11 or 12 seconds. If you just do it like,
my favorite dragon.
if you do it like a normal way, do like the normal way, I think you lose like another 3 or 4 on top of that. So missing it is quite significant, and it's kind of one of the bigger things for quite a while in this run. Like it's sort of in the middle of just pure...
I don't know if Lawrence went for it, but I'm gonna go for it because my run's like way horrible right now.
Yeah, my metalhead just kind of went south because I spent way too long on a sprint chest before realizing, wait a minute, that's gonna screw up my cycles.
Yeah, the metalhead fight. This is purely cycle based. If your movement is consistent, you get the same cycles. If you mess up your movement like Laura did, your cycles get messed up too.
You know that same principle actually goes for riding a real bicycle. If you move consistently, you get a consistent cycle. If you move inconsistently, you're probably going to break your ankle. You know, just like running Spyro.
Laura, here's the deal. I'm going to go down to 0 lives on Rat, and if I don't get it by the time I hit 0 lives, I'm just going to go into Cove because I'm already way behind right now, so I don't have a lot of time to spend on Rat.
I will do the same thing.
I failed Stone Knot 3 times, so I'm behind my PB.
Can I get a single Coveless attempt from Laura?
You get 1.
Yes! Oh, this is a victory for me. I like that we'll be able to show off the horrible trick that is Coveless too.
Oh,
You
yeah.
sound very experienced in cycling, according to Dylan J.
I'm
Fox.
sure most everybody's aware of Tuval and his impact on that trick.
Yeah,
Yes.
just shout outs to Tuval for a lot of what is in this category. Like he very much pioneered a lot of Spyro 1 stuff. He pioneered a very decent amount of Spyro 2 and 3 by sort of breaking those games apart. But especially when it comes to this game, he was at his peak far and beyond the best player at this game. And he was the person who was going for a lot of the new and almost, and at the time, dangerous strats. One of them was Coveless, and he actually got it in a run. And that was world record for a few months, I think.
Mm.
If I'm not mistaken, too, he is still top 5 on the leaderboard for any
He
percent.
is.
Yeah.
I want to say he's 3rd, but I'm not certain.
Or
is-
Deo, when Deo came in, Saboom and Chris are ahead of Tuval. He's only
You're right.
I'm 38 though.
Thank you for the correction. But yes, that just shows you, though, how amazing he was at the game, that his record many years later, or rather his run many years later, is still 4th.
I'm gonna see if I can still get this down to a low 42 with instant mad.
It would be a massive disservice to not make a point just how influential Tuval was, not only as on Spyro as a whole, but this category specifically. This may as well be his category. He
We're back,
really
Tuval, we
changed
miss
so
you.
much about it.
100% agree with that.
iBolt, your movement's looking pretty good.
That entire section was actually this might gold if I get a really good ice play, because I had an excellent start there because I actually had enough gems where I could skip the 2 to the left at the beginning, which is 7 gems, and then the other 9 to the right before the jump. So I actually was able to skip a lot of gems there because I'm actually quite over gemmed from all the strats I've been missing.
Ooh.
Very satisfying to see both of you enter 2 different stages at the exact same time.
Yeah, and in terms of gems, both of you actually look good.
Yep.
Despite my massive undergemming earlier. Okay, here we go. I'm going for single cake, y'all.
You're going for
One.
single? Oh, let's go.
Oh, we're gonna
Up I
be
go.
2 on singles.
Down I go. Jumpy up, jumpy. And I bonked.
We
Unfortunately.
are 1 for 2.
Yeah, you came
That's
out of
alright.
weird.
That's alright.
Jacques is such a scary stage, and this is one of the last stages in the game. I feel like it shouldn't be as scary as it is, but it's horrifying.
Just means more gems for me.
It's
That
not
was
a
a
big
gold
level,
one.
but
Yeah,
it's
that
just
was
so
a. I just got a 5-second gold with that.
cool.
Cheeky.
Also, I'm just also perpetually scared of this stage after seeing too many people lose runs to it, specifically in 120. Thanks, Wally.
This is Jox is definitely the most intimidating level in the run because you know this is the very last of it. You just need the last of the gems, and then it's the end game split. So at this point, you are probably pooping your pants, big style.
There's a lot of little things in Jacques 2 that can't go wrong.
I need that one. I have 6,000 gems exactly. Off we go.
This is now low percent.
Nice single cake. Got it.
Nice.
We are 2 for 3 on singles.
Oh, man. I screwed up the platforming afterwards. What a
Yoga
go.
Monyo, I'm sorry. No, actually, I'm not sorry. Okay, I'm going for the one codeless attempt.
Yes!
That was beautiful.
I'm
So-
so happy. I was about to be very disappointed.
Welcome to Nasty's World, the brutal endgame of Spyro 180%. There are 2 different methods of codeless, the one that Laura just tried, which is ridiculous, and rat proxy, which is also ridiculous.
They're both ridiculous.
I'm going to attempt rat proxy here in a moment.
You may notice that I am not going for rat proxy now because I just spent my time on codeless. Thanks, Yoga Monyo.
That's right. That's right. People
You know
can see
what?
me
At
attempt
least we
rat
have
proxy.
somebody else who's going to show rat proxy potentially.
I'll do it.
Oh. Oh, that's not good.
Very-
That's not good.
So,
Right, so, to explain what just happened to Laura, this hill is kind of weird. If you jump off of it in a slight way, you will not be able to glide. And as soon as you start charging, there is no backing that up. This is not Spyro 2 or 3 where you can chain charging and gliding. In this game, you can charge off of a ledge and then go into a glide.
one
But-
minute.
As soon as you charge again, that's it. You are stuck charging.
Alright. TH skip.
So if the
Made a
game doesn't
very good
give you
attempt
your
at rat.
glide
I'll make
there,
one more.
so if your game doesn't give you your glide there, you are not gliding. You are just taking a dip. But now for TH skip. So I explained it a little bit in the Pink Gem run. This is all about momentum, timing your jump, and just getting a good
Yeah,
flop on
I'm
the
not
nasty
skipping
north
rat. I
side.
had 2 good attempts at rat.
I wonder if we will see TH skip.
I'm going for it too for about a minute.
Oh. That was unfortunate.
Ooh, that was
Yeah,
the flop
that's
that you're looking for.
Yeah, rat sucks. Rat's that's all RNG based. You just have to aim it. And you have to be perfect with your timing.
I'm going into Twilight Harbor because I hear gems coming out of iBolt screen.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Nasty's World is the 3 tricks to save a lot of time. One is RNG, and the other 2 are just stupid.
Yeah.
The other 2 tricks are just really stupid.
It's arguable that even just regular codeless is a
I
slightly
just got TH
RNG.
first try.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
And iBolt with TH yet
shout outs to iBolt. He clutched it out.
overtakes. Laura with the supercharge from the bridge. That's a bit of time.
He had to make some hype somehow.
I'm sorry, Laura. You have this in the bag.
I had the faster Dreamweaver split.
You know what?
What do you
blame
think? I'm
Wally.
mad?
He made you do co-op. You can blame Wally.
I played the rest
Why
of
are
the
you
game
blaming
better.
me? It was Yoga.
That
You
person.
should,
Yeah, that other person.
You should blame Wally because you died in Jacques, and I like to blame him for any Jacques mistake.
Now, time is probably coming up if he doesn't royally screw this up. Oh, speaking of royally screwing things up, I royally screwed things up.
So iBolt was with his first hit. So
Don't miss a key now. Credit skip.
I missed it, obviously. I missed the key.
If you're just gonna credit skip, you're just flexing at that point.
Don't credit skip.
Oh, Laura got it.
oh, he tried to go for credits.
I almost had it too.
It was a decent setup.
Run now.
Well, you guys will see that in 120 at least.
Yeah, we'll leave that to the 120 race.
I thought I had it. I was a little short on my flame.
Got a nice
I deserve that. It's okay.
It was also a game over,
I'm just
so it
having
was
fun.
even worse. So now, Laura coming to her second hit of Nasty.
You know what, y'all? You know what? I don't care if it's a bad
Time
run.
in
I had a
3,
lot of
2,
fun.
time.
And that's time for Laura. That was 44.
I made the estimate by 1 second.
I didn't. It's okay, I
Let's
didn't.
go.
Let's go, Laura. GG.
GG.
I'm about to kill Nasty here.
I will say,
GG, everyone.
it is always demoralizing to me when I'm like, you were 3 seconds worse than my PB right now.
This run
I gotta get back on that grind.
This was a horrible run.
I mean, I might technically have the faster time because I didn't do CS, but by all accounts, iBolt wins this one.
By all accounts, Laura wins because she went for Coveless and she had the better run all around.
We both win. We're all winners, okay? We're all winners at Spyrothon.
We're all
It's
winners.
Spyrothon. This is the
Why am I
Woodstock of
here?
Spyro.
I was here for Wally-thon. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You know what? I don't care. That was a
GG.
horrible run. That was a lot of fun.
That
Yes,
was
and
fun.
GG to iBolt.
GG, everyone.
First try Twilight Harbor skip. First try Home Springs. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
I still have no idea what you're talking about.
Unfortunately, no Coveless though. One of these days. I'm
I'm
telling
such a
Credit
you.
big fan of
either.
Cobblestone
The most
Springs.
important strat, credit skip.
It would have been fun to see credit skip in the any percent race, but we will see it in the 120. So
Yeah.
at least we have it there.
You know, to me, this race was actually kind of like a not a real tie, but I call it a tie.
It's a tie.
So, that was Spyro the Dragon, any percent performed by Laura and iBolt07.
Thanks for watching, I guess.
Yes,
Thank you,
indeed.
Yoga, for assisting.
All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and take over. Before we start the next run, we're gonna give Wally a chance to hop out of here and set up for his run, which is coming up next. Thank you, iBolt and Laura, for the great race.
You're very welcome.
Ton of fun to see that.
Thank you.
Had a ton of fun. Thank you for having me. He left. Oh, no, he didn't leave.
I didn't leave. I'm
Hello.
still here.
Someone
hello,
else
hello. Wally did. He took off. See you, Laura.
See you later.
All right, everybody. That was an awesome race. Like I said, it's really cool to see a couple runners actively running any percents when in the years prior, 2020, 2020, or 2019, didn't really see too much activity in this category, but Laura and iBolt have been doing putting a lot of work into it, and I've been seeing some newer runners coming into it as well, which is really cool to see. Up next, we have the man himself, my son, yes, Wally 1. He's going to be doing Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, and it's going to be sick. So we're going to get him set up for that, and we will see you guys in just a little bit.
Where do you think you're going? Why don't you come sit down? We're watching Spyrothon.
Beautiful. If you guys don't know who that is Wed C. Well, he's not Wed C anymore. He's Wed SR. Just a great person, great runner, a good friend. And he's telling you to stick around. Don't go anywhere because we got some good stuff coming up. So we have Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. For the next 2 runs, actually, we have All Runes by Yes Wally 1. I had to look up what this was, and I was correct. It is, so in Enter the Dragonfly, there are various runes that unlock different power-ups for Spyro. There's like freeze breath, bubble breath, there's a weird wing shield thing, and then I think there's another one, lightning breath. Might be another one I'm missing somewhere, but to my knowledge, Wally is going to collect all these as fast as possible, maybe finish the game, I don't really know. You can never tell what Wally's going to do next with these, but it should be a good time. And then after that, we have First Maple doing any %, no early Ripto, which is just a bit of a longer category compared to the any %. I say a bit, but it's actually about an hour and 3 minutes, 4 minutes even, longer than the standard any % category. And that's going to be really cool as well. Enter the Dragonfly has a bit of a reputation for being kind of like the black sheep of the Spyro series because it was there wasn't a lot of time for them to work on the game. It was a new group of people working on the franchise, and they had to cut a lot of corners to get things done before the game before the deadline for the game to come out. So they didn't get to do everything they wanted to. But the speedrun is really cool. All the tech that you can do in it, it's just a really broken game. So I'm sure these 2 categories would be a blast for you guys to watch.